Hi guys, and welcome to the first video of 25 days of beauty videos for the month of December. This is the first time that I'm doing this and I am so excited. We have one video being uploaded every single day until Christmas Day, and there will be a video on Christmas as well too. We have tutorials, we're talking all things beauty, we might even throw some fashion videos in there. So I'm so excited, I'm getting prepped, and we are here with the first one, and that is going to be a tutorial on this look. Grab your iced coffee, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and let's get started. Alrighty, so let's get started. I'm gonna talk through the items and products that I used while I also show you guys how I'm actually applying all of the makeup to the face. So we're gonna be starting off with eyes, and I actually took out my little E.L.F stickers. I've had them for like ever and never used them, and I actually saw Juicy Jazz here on YouTube and she used them and she just got the most beautiful sharp wings. So I'm like, I should probably take those out. So anyways, we're gonna start off with that. I already completed one eye just because I want to get a sense of what the look is going to look like, and then that way I can easily just follow along with the other eye. So for today's eye look, we are going to be using the Jacyln Hill palette. This is definitely a staple and OG palette. I haven't used it in a while, so I wanted to play around with some of the colors. For today's look, before I even continue talking about everything, we are going for a bold, colorful lower lash line. That's kind of the inspo, the idea. I saw some pictures on Pinterest, well, for all of these looks, just to gather some thoughts and ideas, and I love to just look at some, start off as an inspo, and then go from there. So that is kind of like the makeup look that we are going with. My Nars Smudgeproof eyeshadow base is literally an essential when it comes to eyeshadow for it to last long, and also it just makes it look so nice and smooth. And I have oily lids, so I tend to always crease and my eyeshadow looks a hot mess at the end of the day, so that's a plus. I did want to jump into the Jaclyn Hill palette just because it has so many amazing shades that are neutrals, but then you can get really colorful with these. So that's what I wanted to start off with. See, I started off with Silk Cream, which is this color, and then I also mixed in some of Pukey just to get the transition shade. So once we put Silk Cream and Pukey, I am just gonna want to deepen up the look. So I'm gonna go in with this color Mocha, which is a nice brown color, and we're gonna just start to smoke out the outer edge of the eye. Since we have that tape, we can get pretty messy, we can get close to it, no worries, because once we take it off, we have a beautiful and defined line. Then we're also gonna move on over to the darker brown, which is Central Park, and I want to use that to just start to create a lash line wing effect. I don't want anything too harsh, so I'm gonna go with the dark brown, and we'll start to just extend that out to meet the tape. Now to deepen that even just a little further, we're going to go into the black in this palette, which is the color Abyss, and we're going to go just right underneath that brown to just deepen it a little bit. Since I won't be using lashes in this video, I want to be able to create a nice smoky winged effect that doesn't take away from the lower lash line, because that is going to be the star of the show, but I do want to have a nice wing in effect. Now once that is all done, we're going to move into the color in Light, which is one of the lighter colors, and that's what we're gonna put in the inner corner slash this 1/3 part of the eyelid, the opening, just to be able to open it up a bit. That way we have the nice deeper tones at the outer edge of the eye, and then in the inner we want to just start putting a little touch, a little sparkle, if you will, of that color to just start to make it nice and blended. So I'm just gonna take a clean blending brush, making sure that all of that is nicely blended, and that will be all for now when it comes to eyes. Now we'll jump right back into that once the rest of the base is complete, because like I said, the lower lash line is the star of the show. Now my skin is already prepped and primed with moisturizer. I love to use my Tatcha Dewy skin cream. I love to use this to be able to moisturize the skin. Now you can use that as your only moisturizer, as your only primer, but today I am gonna go in with a pore filling primer because I want the makeup to sit flawlessly on the skin, and I find that using pore filling primers for me specifically works wonders, especially since I have pores right on this area. I love to just be able to use some of that. I am using the Makeup Revolution Blur and Prime primer, which literally I have not stopped using since I purchased it. I also have a mattifying one of these, which I love for oilier days, but today this is what we are going to use. Now for foundation, I want to mix two products, one that I love and another one that I've been really enjoying using, but I want to kind of mix it. So the first one that I'm going to go in with is going to be the Huda Beauty Stick Foundation. I love this foundation so much. Literally have been using it non-stop since I got it. It blends so nicely on the skin and the color is spot on for me. So I want to mix this with the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. Now this one went viral all over social media. I purchased this one and I really have been enjoying it. I feel like the undertones are a little weird, like they can go a little cool or like gray, so I do like to mix it with some of my more yellow based foundations, but this also looks beautiful on its own. It blends nicely, so I kind of want to have a bit of that glow serum like texture while also mixing in some of my mattifying stick. That is all said and we are blended out. We're gonna go in with concealer, and this has been one of my favorite concealers, especially when I want something that is full coverage. I always go for this one, and that is the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer Cream. I love this stuff, so that is what I'm going to be putting all over the under eyes to be able to make sure that we are concealing, adding some brightness, as well as in all the other areas of the face where we typically would conceal. Then I'm going to go in with my small blending brush, and we're going to take our time and really just blend that out. We'll be patting where we want more coverage, and then we can swipe where we're okay with the concealer kind of being able to move around and just be dispersed among the face. Now before we go in with powder, I do want to put some liquid contour and bronzer, and I have been obsessed with the Made by Mitchell liquid blushers, and I have them in the colors Caramel Chisel and Shady Business. These are their bronzer shades and it works so well. I'm just gonna apply some of the contour a little higher up on the cheek and then the bronzer a little lower and blend that out. This formula blends so nicely. I literally put them all over my face and I was still able to blend even while waiting for one side to dry, and then the other, it doesn't like stick and you don't have to worry about it just sticking onto your face. They blend out so nicely. I love it, and I love these two colors on my skin, so I love to go in with that before we set. Now moving into powder, this has been one of my favorite powders of all time. Honestly, like I would be okay if I got rid of every other powder in my collection and only use this because it's that good. And that is the Wet n Wild Photofocus Translucent Powder. When I tell you that this is a filter, literally a filter in a powder form, I don't know how it does it, but just look at the skin. Like, there's no filter on my camera. I do not have the filter on the camera. I want you to see real and raw skin. This is just wow. If you have not tried this out, get your hands on it. You can get it in store. I got one in Walmart. I got one in Amazon. You can get it pretty much anywhere. It is so good and it's under $10. So I would highly recommend, because that is a staple product. Now to add some more warmth to the skin, we are gonna go in with some bronzer and contour powders. I have been really enjoying the Chi Chic Bronzers. I have two colors here. I have I Went to Venice and I Went to Cabo, which I love the little names because it's like different little places that you would go on vacation. I've been really impressed with this brand's powders and their products so far, so I'm really enjoying it. I have a blush from them and I also have a highlighter, so this is what they look like. This is I Went to Cabo, which for me is more of like a contour color, and this is I Went to Venice, and this one is more of like a bronzer, so I like to mix them both or once again, like I did with the liquids, I'll put the contour a little higher up and then the bronzer over top. It just gives the most beautiful wash of bronziness into the skin, adding some definition, which I love. Sticking to the same heart packaging shape theme, we're gonna jump on over to blush, and this one is actually from Colourpop, and it's kind of similar package to the kimchi, which is why I was saying sticking to the same heart theme, which super cute. And we're gonna go in with this powder. This one is called Let's Dance, and I wanted something just soft, nice and pink, just because I knew that I was gonna be going with something heavier on the eye. I didn't want the cheeks to take away from the eye, but honestly, now that I'm looking at it, I could even add just a little more, just to emphasize a little of blush, you know? So that is the color that we're using. I honestly feel like you literally cannot go wrong with this color. It works so well with so many different eye looks, so many different lip colors. So that is what we are going to be applying for blush. So now we're gonna be jumping into the lower lash line, and that is going to be, like I mentioned earlier, the star of the show. So before we jump back into the palette, I am actually gonna take this Kiko Milano multicolor glitter eyeliner, and it's in this beautiful teal color, and that's what I'm going to apply all over the lower waterline, because I want the waterline to be also the color that I'm going to be using from the Jacyln Hill palette. And I was surprised at how similar this color is to the matte color that I'm going to be using. So that's the one in the palette, and this is what the pencil looks like. So saw that and said match made in heaven. So I'm going to put that all over the waterline, and then we're gonna go into the color Jada. That is the star of the show. That's the color that I want to apply, and we're gonna just take that right up against the lower lash line and just swipe 2/3 of the eye, not all the way in, just the outer corner, connecting it to that wing that we created earlier, and then just blending it into that eyeliner to make sure that we have those two connected. Done with that, we're gonna move into Pool Party, and this color is so cute. This one leans a little more blue, but it's like an icy blue. So I want to take that into this third of the eye, leaning more into the inner corner of the eye to just be able to lighten it but still carry that nice bold color into the eye. Now, to make sure that everything is blended and cohesive, I am going to go back into Silk Cream and into Pukey and just slightly run that through underneath where we have that teal color, just to make sure that the colors are balanced, make sure that it's not a super bold teal with nothing that matches from the top. So now that eyes are all complete, we can finish up the face, and we're gonna go into highlighter. And the highlighter that I'm gonna be using is one that I have loved for years, and that is the Wet n Wild Megaglow highlighting powder. This is in the shade Precious Petals, so that's the color that we're gonna be using. I love how it literally looks wet on the skin, but it's a powder. Like, those types of highlighters just get me, and they get me good. And then lastly, we're gonna go into lips. So I started off by lining my lips with the color Oak. This is such a staple, although it leans a little more on the cooler tone side. So I am gonna go in with a more warmer lip shade. I'm going to go in with the Colourpop Luxe Lip Oil in the color Hot Shot. And I love the color combination because it's like a neutral balance with some warmth. So I love that so much. And that is going to be the completed look. Alright guys, well that concludes this video and the first makeup look that we will be creating for 25 days of beauty videos on here on Franny's Looks. So once again, make sure that you're subscribed. Come back tomorrow and the day after because there's going to be a video posted every single day. Thank you so much for watching. I'll try and link or at least list all the products that I used down below. I hope you have an amazing day and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!